There is a place, not here or there, but somewhere in between. There is a space in the thin air that really can't be seen. If you listen and observe, you may be surprised. Some may call it Camelot or even paradise. Some may say you cross a bridge, others through a door. But all I know about this place is that I call it Evermore. Evermore.
Good evening, sweet spirits. Welcome to the show. My name is Suzanne Sorrell, and I'm the host of the Evermore Paranormal Network. On this episode, we're going to be talking about the ParaCon experience. So let's get started. Well, first of all, what is a ParaCon? Well, simply, it's two words put together. Paranormal and convention equals ParaCon. Now, this seems to be, the phenomena is really not that old, maybe a little over 10 years when the first ParaCons started. The oldest and continuous one, meaning that it's run every year, has been Scarefest in Lexington, Kentucky, which was started in 2007. Now this is more of a horror convention, but they started having, when the shows became popular, the paranormal shows, they started having paranormal paracelebs, etc., come on into the event. So where are ParaCons held? Well, most of them are on the East Coast. There are some in other parts of the country, but the majority are held on the East Coast. They can be indoors or outdoors. They can be held at a hotel, an event center, or a known haunted location. Now, I was one of the first to have a ParaCon, Paramericon, in 2014 at a haunted location. So, what's the frequency, time of year, and duration of ParaCons? Well, ParaCons usually occur once a year. In general, they have them, a specific ParaCon will be held annually. Some, like mine, is every couple years. Me and my husband, it's too much work to do it every year. But you can usually find a ParaCon happening somewhere every month during the con season. So what is the ParaCon season? Well, they seem to run from March to September. You're not going to find a ParaCon in October usually because the paracelebs there are too many events going on. It would be very expensive to have one around Halloween. Also, November, December is the holidays, January, February is winter, so that's why the season seems to run from March to September. And a ParaCon will last from 1 day to 3 days, depending on which one you go to. So what's the purpose of ParaCons? Well, sometimes there is an issue or a topic focus, such as mine, which was women in the paranormal. Sometimes it's about para-unity. Now, sometimes the ParaCons are done for profit, where a team or a business is having a convention to make money. But a lot of times they're done for charity reasons. I'm going to one next week, as a matter of fact, that is a charity ParaCon. They're raising funds for a young girl that has leukemia. There are also ParaCons that are held to raise money for a haunted location. Most of the haunted locations need repairs, and this is one way they raise money. The cost of a ParaCon. For you to go to one, to attend one, sometimes they're free. Most of the time it costs $10 or $20 to get in. And then others are much more expensive. But in general, you can, it's inexpensive to get in the door. 3 tips that I've learned after going to a bunch of ParaCons that I want to recommend to you. 1, dress comfortably. You are going to be standing around carrying your stuff. It's going to be hot. There'll be a lot of people in there. You need to be comfortable. Most people wear jeans, a t-shirt, and some comfortable like tennis shoes. And you'll notice that a lot of people wear black t-shirts. It's just the thing. It's almost it's the uniform of the paranormal field. Now, also bring cash, because a lot of these vendors, it's cash only. They don't have the credit card or debit service. There's not an ATM around. Sometimes there are, but you really can't count on that. So, bring cash. Another thing, bring a camera with extra batteries and or a charged iPhone. Now you're at an event that may be in a haunted location with people that have abilities and so on. You need backup batteries. And if you're there, the celebrities will pose for you. Most of them will pose with you for free. You don't have to pay to get a picture with them, so why not? So what happens at ParaCons? Well, first of all, you're going to meet paracelebs. What is a paraceleb? A paraceleb is, in the most stringent definition, somebody that's had a TV show, that's either on a TV show, past or present. You can get pictures with them, and they're also selling their 8x10 headshots, their books, etc., and they will autograph them for you. Another thing, you can shop at vendor tables and booths to get things that you're just not going to get at the local, like Walmart. You're going to find stuff. People are selling paranormal related merchandise, like equipment, metaphysical stuff, clothing, jewelry. So it's really cool and fun to buy that kind of thing. Now, there'll be lectures, there'll be seminars and workshops. Usually these are taught by paracelebs or somebody that's very knowledgeable in the field or on the topic. Sometimes there'll just be a Q&A with a celebrity so that you can ask those questions that you always wanted to ask the guy or girl that's on TV. And again, these are usually included, not always, but usually included in your general admission fee. Another thing, you want to go on a ghost hunt? You can go on a ghost hunt at one of these ParaCons. Most of them do offer some kind of ghost hunt. Usually it's after the event in the evening, led by one of the paracelebs, and there's always extra cost for that. Count on that. Sometimes the ParaCons will have a VIP party. This is where you can hang out informally, have a drink, dance, chat with the paracelebs and other people in the field and just have fun. There is a cost for that usually as well. Another thing you can do, and which I always do when I'm at one of these events, is get a psychic reading. There are tons of psychics at the ParaCons. Again, it's an extra cost though. And lastly, you can interact with others that are in the field with you. There'll be lots of ghost hunting teams. There'll be radio personalities. There'll be authors. And in addition, there'll be a few people that not only, ghost hunters and people that are in the paranormal, but also people that are into aliens, Bigfoot, and some horror peeps. So, anyway, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. So welcome back. So now, I was trying to figure out how many conventions, how many ParaCons have I been to? And I had to sit down and think about it. And I came up with like 13 that I've gone to. I've been going to ParaCons for the past 7 years, since 2012 to present, and like I said, a few that are coming up. Not only have I attended, just going like I was telling you about earlier in the first segment, I've also been a vendor. I've also had my own ParaCon twice, and I've sang at one of the conventions. We have attended ParaCons in Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. The first one that we attended was Phenomenology. And that was in 2012. We went to that like 3 years. It's held in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And for that one, we attended first off. We were new. Then we vended. And then, like I said, I performed at one of the events. This was the first one we went to. And really, they don't do this one anymore. But I wish they did, because it was a pretty darn good ParaCon. I actually modeled my con after this one. So the next con that we went to was in 2015. We went to WouijaCon. This was held in Baltimore, Maryland. We were vendors, and the purpose of this con was to celebrate the 125th birthday of the Ouija board. Now, that was just a one-time con. I'm not sure if they're going to have another one for another birthday, but that was just a one-time thing. Then I had ParaCon. In 2014, I held it in Manassas Park, Virginia. And then in 2017, I moved it to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I was the promoter and organizer along with my husband. And the focus of this con was on women in the paranormal field. Like I said, we were the promoter and organizer of this one. It is a lot of work to have a con, just warning you. Then, in 2016, we went to Gettysburg ParaCon in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. That year, we were vendors. The following year, we just attended it with the team. Then, in 2017, we went to Gordonsville Exchange Hotel ParaCon. We went with the team that time, and all I remember, it was a good con, ParaCon, shall I say, but it was like the hottest. It was outdoors. It was like the hottest day ever. So, again, indoors might be better than outdoors. Just a tip. Now, the next con that we went to in 2017 was Farnsworth House Inn ParaCon, held in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. You probably heard me talk about Farnsworth before. It is known as one of the most haunted inns in America. And they finally had their own ParaCon. We were vendors there, and we also filmed for this TV show. And those episodes have already aired, and you can actually go to YouTube at the Evermore Paranormal Network YouTube channel and watch those episodes. I think there were 3 episodes from that con. Now, we also, a couple months ago, we went to a con, what's called New Jersey Para-Unity Expo in Woodbridge, New Jersey. And I'm going to talk more about that later, but we attended it, and the focus was on para-unity. Then we're going to a con next week called OliviaCon in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. This is the one that I mentioned earlier, that it is a charity event for a girl that has leukemia. We will be vending there, and we'll also be filming for our other TV show, Evermore Paranormal Road Trip. And finally, the only other con that we're scheduled to go to this year is Pennhurst ParaCon in Spring City, Pennsylvania. It will be held at the very well-known haunted Pennhurst. And we will be vending there as well as filming for the Evermore Paranormal Road Trip show. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
With breast cancer has been one of my greatest teachers.
Every woman's breast cancer is unique. Be Wiser educates and empowers women to take control of their breast cancer treatment plan and help navigate their own path beyond 5 years.
Talk to your doctor about information and tests to personalize a treatment plan that fits your needs. I did. Be informed, be wiser, support survivors like us.
Welcome back. Now, Jim Sorrell of Evermore Paranormal has joined me. Hi, Jim.
Hello.
So, you've attended a lot of ParaCons, just as I have, usually with me.
Yep.
So, how many have you attended, and in what capacity?
I've attended about a dozen, I think what it's been. And I was a customer, of course, a vendor a few times, and I was even helped promote and organize our own.
Exactly, yes, and I know we've been to most of them together.
Yeah.
And I tried to do a count. I just couldn't remember. I think we've done like 13, but I'm not. There may be 1 or 2 that I'm just forgetting.
Right.
But Anyway, we've been to a lot, not only ParaCons, but events.
Yeah.
You know, ghost hunting events, etc.
Right.
But ParaCons in particular, we've done 13 or so.
Sounds about right.
So Jim, what is your favorite thing about ParaCons?
Just meeting the new TV show people, you know. You see them on TV and then you get to meet them. It's kind of neat.
Kind of thrilling, right? Yeah, I had that as something like as well, meeting the para-celebs that you've watched on TV for so long. And to see that they're real people, just like us.
Yep, exactly.
The other thing is, I enjoy seeing friends that I've met year after year when I go to these conventions.
Yeah, you get to meet a lot of different people from all walks of life and other people that, you know, investigate just like you, and you share ideas and things.
Yeah, and another thing is the vendors. They have cool stuff that you're just not going to find at your local stores. You know, you're not going to find like witch stuff at just any old store. You have to hunt that down. And when you go to a ParaCon, there's more than one of them usually, and you can get like all the crystals you want, or all. Say you need some, you're out of sage, or you know, you can get some cool stuff.
Yep.
How about another thing that I think is great about ParaCons? I know my favorite thing. There's hard to pick one, as you can see, is learning something new from the best. Usually, you know, that's a rare opportunity.
Yeah, it is. You don't always get the opportunity, like you said, for one, and two, you picking up a new technique or a new piece of equipment or something that they use, and they show you how to use it and that kind of thing. So it can be helpful, yeah.
But so, you know, there's a lot of great things about ParaCons, but what's your least favorite thing? I mean, I have a lot myself, but I narrowed it down to one. What is yours?
To narrow it down, I guess it's probably the waiting in lines to see the celebrities, and waiting in lines for food, or just waiting in line, basically.
Oh, yes.
Because sometimes they can be long and take a long time.
I know you were upset about that at the last. That was one of your...
That was like the longest we ever waited for something.
To see somebody, to get food, and then they were out of food. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So, you know, those are the kind of issues that they're going to happen, but, you know, it's... You know.
Well, my least favorite thing, without getting into it, because I don't want to get into a deep discussion, I want to keep this lighthearted, but is that one of the worst things is the undercurrent of paradrama that goes on at the ParaCons. In other words, there are a lot of like relationship issues, and people are, you're friends with them one year and you're enemies with them the next, but you may be sitting next to them or standing next to them at the event. So to move on, how would you improve ParaCons?
And they're all a little bit different, and some of them have, you know, better ideas with their programs than others, but it was kind of hard for me to think of something to improve on. Some of them don't have but a couple lectures or speakers, and it'd be nice to have more, I think, to give you more of an opportunity, because, you know, you want to be shopping and meeting people, and then you also have time to go to lectures, and sometimes it's hard to squeeze those in.
You can't
so you don't get an opportunity to always go to. Like the last one, there was several lectures that we wanted to see, but
there were two going on at the same time.
Yeah, but we couldn't make it because we were in line for things, and two, we wanted to get around and meet you know, everybody. So I guess that's the only thing I could think of that would might be helpful. And I know those are hard to do sometimes. You know yourself when you try to schedule them. Sometimes they're hard to schedule, but
well, we're running out of time. I'm just going to say, for me, there's a lot of things. I could do a book on improving ParaCons, but one thing was, so that we're running out of time, would be better food choices. They usually, that's like an afterthought at these cons. Nobody worries about, we got to eat. We're going to be there all day. What are we going to eat? A lot of times you have to leave the location or bring your own food. Another thing is more seating. I could have used a chair.
Yeah, that's true.
I need a chair, you know. And now, for the last question, if you could meet one dream para-celeb at a ParaCon, who would it be and why?
Well, I think we both met one that we wanted to see, and that was Amy recently, a couple months ago. And she was just so nice. She was such a nice person and in person, and we both enjoyed meeting her. It was worth our wait, like you mentioned earlier. And then I would also like to meet Zach Bagans.
Yes.
He's been in the field a long time, been watching him on TV a long time. So, you know, I like the way he takes it serious, the way he approaches his investigations about the paranormal. So I just think I'd like to meet him next.
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to meet Zach. He's on, again, I couldn't pick one. I agree with you on Zach. I agree with you on Amy Allen. But I also would like to meet Jason Hawes.
Yeah.
Because you and I both attended so many
tried to
events,
meet him.
so many Paracons, and it's just, he didn't come or we couldn't go, etc.
Yeah, we missed him 2 or 3 times.
We've met everyone on the Ghost Hunter show, if not meet them, investigated with them.
Right.
And this would complete our bucket list. This would complete our dream come true.
Yep.
So we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And we'll be right back. So welcome back. Now I want to talk to you about the most recent Paracon that me and my husband attended. It was just a couple months ago, and it was called New Jersey Para-Unity Expo. It was held in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Now we've been trying to get to this event this was the 5th year that they had it. We've been trying to get to it all the years prior, and something always came up. It's usually around the Mother's Day weekend as well, so that was a problem. But anyway, we finally made it. And I have to show you this brochure that they had. Now, not all Paracons give out a brochure, so I think it's a nice touch. On the lineup was awesome. We have Chip Coffey, John Zaffis, Amy Allen, Amy Bruni, Steve Gonzalez, Marcus Harvey, Katrina Weidman, and Chris Smith. These were the headliners. There were other celebs as well. And in addition to this brochure, there's also a place to get autographs, which I think is nice too. So really, you don't have to buy anything else. Usually they'll sign these for you for free. So if you're on a tight budget, you get this for free, and that starts the day. Okay, so our goal for this one was to meet Amy Allen. Amy Allen, both of us, Jim and I both, love the show Dead Files. It's my favorite show right now on TV. And we decided we were going to go for nothing else but to meet her. So we stood in line for 2 hours to meet Amy Allen. When we got there, I said, we're going directly we saw Amy Allen, we stood in line for 2 hours. My husband wanted to give up a little into it, and I said, no, we came like 4-hour drive for this. We're going to stand in line, and we're going to meet her. It was worth the wait. We got pictures with her, and I got this signed 8x10 of Amy Allen. I got to meet her, and on top of meeting her, her mother was actually there working handling the money and that kind of thing. So we got to meet her mom. She is like the sweetest. Not only is her mom sweet, but Amy Allen is as sweet as can be. Really nothing like she is on the show. And on top of that, I said, Amy, will you sign? I had my K2, my trusty K2 I have in my purse all the time. I said, Amy, will you sign my K2? And so lo and behold, she signed it in her pink pen. A girl, and we both love pink, obviously. So then, now the next person I had to go see was my friend, John Zaffis. John Zaffis, I got a picture with John. We've met John many a times, and I've bought all of his books. And this was a book, this is his latest book, Demon Haunted. And I had to get a copy of this book. I think I ran into him a couple times before he was out of them, so I was lucky. He signed it on the inside. And, like I said, if you don't know who John Zaffis is, something's wrong with you. He's had his own show. He's at most of the Paracons. And I also asked him, hey, John, I was going to get everybody to sign my K2 after Amy, but John was on his way to do his lecture, and he nicely signed my K2 as well. Then I forgot about getting it signed, so I only got 2 people sign it. And this does still work. So I'm going to keep it in my private collection. Very proud of it. Then I said, okay, Chip Coffey. Chip Coffey has been on a lot of shows. I just saw him yesterday on Kindred Spirits. But he's been on a lot of shows. He's a world famous psychic. And I have his 8x10 signed. I have his book that he wrote signed. I said, I got everything he signs. What he does, he sells scarves as well. He wears scarves. He's known for scarves. So I said, Chip, will you sign my scarf? So I bought the scarf and he signed it. They didn't, I don't know how many people have a scarf signed by Chip, but they really didn't want to sign the scarf. They were worried that it would bleed and it, you know, when you wash it, it's going to smear or fade. I said, that's okay. It's going in, you know, like a curio cabinet. It's going to be safe. So they signed it. He signed it for me. Then I had to meet Chris Smith. I love the show. Well, he's been on a bunch of shows, but you know him on Ghost Asylum and most recently on Haunted Towns. Met him. He is so nice. And my husband talked to him for a little bit too. My husband's not into the con scene and the paranormal scene like I am, but he's watched the shows and he talked to him a bit and he said, hey, he's just a nice guy. So you can't meet a nicer guy. And so overall, you know, this event, I have to say, I have to put it up top as one of the best cons that I've attended. So it's already scheduled again for next year. It's always in May. It's in Woodbridge, New Jersey. It's called New Jersey Para-Unity Expo. And so I know they've already lined up Grant Wilson to be a headliner next year from the Ghost Hunters TV show, one of my favorites. So with that said, I want to thank you again for watching the Evermore Paranormal Network. I hope I've excited you, inspired you to go to some of these ParaCons and, check these, this off your bucket list. Meet these people. They're really great people and it's a wonderful experience.